Caleb Wilson was a 20-year-old mechanical engineering junior at Southern University. He was a dedicated member of the university's renowned Human Jukebox Marching Band, and he tragically died on February 27th following participation in an off-campus fraternity ritual associated with the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, the chapter there in Louisiana, at Southern University, I should say, in Louisiana. So now what you see pictured here is his band members doing a second line. A second line in Louisiana, in New Orleans specifically, is an honor as people are being carried to their final resting places for funerals. What happens in many cases is a band is usually hired, and they will play some pretty heavy, pretty hot jazz music that's hopping, that's on fire, that you want to dance to, and people will join in the second line, that's the line behind the people in the funeral mourners, to join in the celebration of the passing of the person as they go off to their final destination, resting place on this earth, and of course to their spiritual place up there. So second line is a great thing to do, and this is the band doing that for their compadre. Now, the details and the circumstances of the incident are pretty harrowing. The initial reports had that Wilson collapsed during an early morning ritual at North Sherwood Forest Community Park, but investigations found that it actually occurred at a warehouse much earlier, where pledges were subjected to physical blows. Wilson was punched in the chest and suffered a seizure, leading to a collapse. Despite being rushed to the hospital pretty quickly at Baton Rouge General Hospital, he was pronounced dead pretty shortly after that arrival. Like, what's much they could do for him. And of course, they found the fraternity actually misled authorities in saying that it happened in one place when it really happened someplace else, saying it took place in the park and not in the warehouse where they were actually, covered away from folks happening. The reaction has been pretty swift and pretty heavy for Southern University in the wake of his death, in definitely suspending all membership activities intake for sororities, fraternities, and student organizations. Anything due to bring people into the organizations has been shut down. It's all done. It is done. Essentially, to go with the zero tolerance policy for hazing, essentially cutting things down at the boot. East Baton Rouge District Attorney Hilary Moore is confirming that charges will go through, including hazing, negligent homicide, and manslaughter. They are there on the table to go forward. We will see what happens with this one. The family for Wilson are expressing grief and a commitment to uncovering the truth surrounding the deaths. They emphasize the desire to prevent similar tragedies from other families. The university community is, of course, trying to make up what it can with the memory of the young man, particularly the marching band, as I said, doing the second line going there as well. This is something that is a very severe issue. Now, the sidebar on this is we hear at various intervals of fraternity deaths, hazing deaths that usually go around, and I'll say this out loud, white fraternities, and they're usually around alcohol. Too much alcohol consumption, being sick and dying there. This is something also is an issue where there's physical issues, and it's more in the case of where there's issue with people in black fraternities. I'm not a member of a fraternity. I don't know exactly what goes down. I have friends and family who are in. They don't tell me because they don't need to. I don't want to know. I don't care. But rumors, innuendos, and the thoughts of the physical abuses in some cases that some men and women go through in the hazing processes in whatever fraternity you're into is out there. Zero tolerance usually means zero tolerance until somebody figures out what happens. So there will be some heavy consequences for Southern for a while as this goes through. Now, what it means for the larger scale of folks, we shall see as it goes through.